국민의 생명과 안전에 책임을 다하지 못했다는 자괴감에
We gotta get this deal no matter what. Otherwise, you and me so fucking dead.
내 조카가 왜 죽어야 되는 거지 왜? 그놈들이 대체 누군데? 왜 아무 죄도 없는 사람들 죽은 건데? 거짓말 하지 마, 이 새끼야!
Welcome to the presentation of Importing Rice Group. In the context of globalization and international integration, developing countries like Vietnam are raising the Industrial Revolution 4.0. This is a springboard for the country if we keep up with the change of the age. Despite the shortcomings, Vietnam has achieved considerable achievements over the years, especially commodity import-export. Today, the electronic industry is a key in the national economy. However, there are still some items in the country that have produced efficiently, so the country needs foreign supplies. Computers and accessories are large imports, accounting for 23.94% of the country's total goods imports. The importation of goods affects the electronics industry in general and the business process in particular. So, we choose the process of importing computers and accessories to do our research. Process of importing computers and accessories. Step 1. Sign a foreign trade contract. This is a sale contract between two companies. The buyer is Thuận Phát Import Export Service Co Ltd and the seller is PPS Singapore South Pte Ltd. Two sides carry out the purchase and sale of computers and accessories. Below are the terms of the contract. Now, let's analyze this contract. Before signing the contract, two sides negotiate contract contents. Accordingly, the two sides will agree on relevant conditions, including some key terms as follows. First, description of goods, commodity names, computer and accessories. Quantity 57. Quality brand new is 100% brand and qualified for export. Price $617,362.15. Delivery address Singapore. Packing export standards for computing equipment. Quarantine 3 years from the delivery date. Payment duration 2 years. Method of payment by electric transfer. Delivery time doesn't pass through 30 December 2020. Claim and dispute settlement. The two sides guarantee to implement strictly on the conditions stipulated in this contract. The faulty party will be responsible for any expense occurred by damage. Any dispute between two sides will be settled by arbitration, Ho Chi Minh City. Delivery conditions. The S-work condition. Based on S-work terms, let's analyze the obligations of buyer and seller. First, the obligation of the seller is PPS Singapore South Pte Ltd. Prepare goods ready at the factory, suitable for the means of transport to be used. When the buyer accepts a sale, he sells out of charge. Transfer to the buyer of commercial invoices and relevant merchandise documents. The obligation of the buyer is Thuận Phát Import Export Service Co. Ltd. Receive the goods at the factory. The address is 450 Alexandra Road, 0900 SPA Building, Singapore 11960. Bear all costs and risks since receiving the goods at the seller's factory. Goods information like name, computers and accessories, quantity 57 products, quality 100 brand new and qualified for export, unit price $617,362.15. The next obligation is buy minimum cargo insurance type C, clearance and bear the cost of customs clearance and import and export taxes. Arrange and pay the cost of loading the goods on the means of transport. Load the goods onto the means of transport at the port of departure at Singapore port and unload at the port of destination at Saigon port. Step 2. Export clearance. The process of export customs clearance procedures includes the following steps. First, check item policy, tax policy. Prepare documents for goods to be exported. The following documents are required, like foreign trade contract, commercial invoice, packing list, agreement on storage. To get information include name of vessel, the number of ships, port of export, and the last, equipment interchange receipt. To get information suggest container number and sale number. Declare the customs declaration. Carrying out export customs procedures at the customs sub-department. Clearance and liquidation of declarations. Step 3. Booking in chains. The process of charter. Ocean Network Express. First, the owner of the goods will file the vessels or through the broker to deliver the goods on time. After filing the ship, the broker will send a note of freight charges. And finally, the broker and the ship owner will agree on some key terms in loading and unloading and transporting goods. Price negotiation. First, list the carrier's appropriate timing and cargo requirements. Second, contact the carrier. Take schedule of shipping and prices. Third, write a closed-door mail and send a request for a reservation agreement with the shipping company. The process of making bill of lading. Take real data to make detailed instructions for making a bill of lading to send to shipping likes before the deadline of the bill of lading. Send instructions for making a bill of lading to avoid administrative staff for performance metrics. Receive a draft bill of lading and then confirm the information shown on the invoice. And last, get the debit note and pay the surcharge to receive the bill. Step 4. Completion of licenses for importing goods. Thuận Phát Import Export Service Co. Ltd. send a set of dossiers to the ministry or to the ministerial level agency competent to grant licenses. Check the license at the Ministry of Industry and Trade, Ho Chi Minh City. A set of computer import dossiers for quality inspection includes Certificate of Business Registration, Contract of Self, Quality Certificates, Introduction, Explanation, Technical Documents as required by test standards, Customs Declaration, Commercial Invoice, Packing List, Bill of Lading, Certificate of Origin. Step 5. Check the packing. Booking and approving the order to issue empty containers. Be able to log into the container. An empty container authorization is required. Time registry for empty containers, and the last, take and check containers. Step 6. Receive and check relevant documents like commercial invoice, documents in the contract, backing list, CO. Check the packing and bill of lading. Step 7. Monitor the receipt code, wait for delivery and carry out delivery procedures. Through an invoice code provided, Thuận Phát Import Export Service Co. Ltd. inspects the goods journey to arrange the loading schedules, handle documents, and dispatch the freight forwarder. The buyer needs to carry out some important goods receipt procedures such as commercial contracts, commercial bills, detailed declaration of the item's information, packing list, and lastly, the customs declaration, and some other documents like performer invoice, letter of credit, CO. Step 8. Complete customs clearance. The enterprise carries out the relevant procedures like pay import tax, submit vouchers for the shipment of goods to the controlling unit. Upon completion of the procedures to be handed over at the port of the station. Step 9. Pay for the goods. The buyer payment for the goods to the seller by telegraphic transfer. The money transfer process. 1. Beneficiary performs contractual obligations and its delivery. 2. The money remitter makes the money transfer order enclosed with the money transfer dossier and requests the bank to transfer money abroad. 3. The remittance bank tracks remittance records and debits the sender's account. 4. Based on the payment order of the customer, the remitter bank issues a payment order to the paying bank in the beneficiary country. 5. The paying bank debits the bank account to transfer money and notifies to the exporter. The last step, transport goods to storage and complete the relevant work. Deliver goods to the warehouse. After receive the goods, the buyer will need to go to the post trade office and carry the delivery order fee to pay the fee. Next, hand to the driver with documents such as EIR or DO. Before the container lifts onto the vehicle, the driver needs to coordinate with the port to inspect the container status thoroughly to avoid the later cost of container repair is not due to the defects of the firm. Unload and return empty containers. The business must return the container in the same state as when delivered. As the cargo reaches the warehouse, do a job checking documents. After the withdrawal, the driver will bring the container back to the port or ICD. Keep records and documents. And documents must be carefully stored to compare where there is a recent complaint. Facing the complicated changes in the economy, the rapid development of science and technology, especially information and communication technology, the process of our country's integration into the world will have favorable conditions. But besides that, it will face many difficulties and challenges. For the import process, the work of constantly innovating and modernizing, capacity improvement must be a top priority. Importing enterprises not only master the process but also strictly to the law. Since then, our country has become more and more developed and has a firm foothold in the world market.
Wow, wow. Tam giác là tác giam, tác là đánh, giam là nhốt, đánh nhốt là đốt nhánh, đốt là thiêu, nhánh là cành, thiêu cành là thanh kiều. Thank you everybody, welcome to the party.